The Sri Lankan city of Anuradhapura is one of the most important historical cities anywhere on Earth, the capital of an ancient empire which ruled the region for more than 1,000 years, and the heart of Sri Lankan culture, appropriately known as the Land of Kings. Within this city stands the ruins of the astonishing Ranmasu Uyana, Golden Fish Park, at one time a 40-acre royal garden filled with lush green pathways, pools, and engraved illustrations, and home to some of the oldest and most significant Buddhist monuments in the country. And yet, the most significant thing in the park might not be a monument, but rather an out-of-the-way carving almost hidden amongst the ruins, which in recent times has become one of the most mysterious ancient artifacts, not only in Sri Lanka, but anywhere on Earth. Known as Sakwala Chakraya, or Universe Cycle, the shadowy origins and unknown purpose of this carving have puzzled experts for more than a century. Now, new evidence is emerging which suggests that the mystery might go further than anyone imagined. What is Sakwala Chakraya? Who built it, and why? In this video, we'll break it down and uncover Sakwala Chakraya's extraordinary secrets. At first glance, Sakwala Chakraya is perhaps no more astonishing than other ancient carvings found all over the world. Stretching 6 feet in diameter, the carving is made up of 7 concentric circles surrounded by sections divided by vertical and horizontal lines, within which are a series of crossed circles and other unusual symbols. Around the boundary of the carving is an outer ring filled with depictions of a variety of marine animals. Certainly, it is an intricate and impressive work, yet what truly makes Sakwala Chakraya unique and mysterious is that to this very day, archaeologists and historians have absolutely no idea what it is or where it came from. The problem begins with the fact that Sakwala Chakraya looks nothing like any other ancient carving found in Anuradhapura or across Sri Lanka. Moreover, while it sits in the midst of Buddhist temples and monuments, its iconography does not match any Buddhist iconography from Sri Lanka or anywhere in the world. In other words, Sakwala Chakraya appears totally out of place, as if the Mona Lisa was hanging on the wall of Machu Picchu. Even more bizarre is that any mention of Sakwala Chakraya is completely missing from the meticulous records kept by both the Anuradhapura Empire and the numerous Buddhist monasteries in the area. From these records, which cover more than 1,000 years, a detailed picture of the civilization which inhabited the area is given of how they built their temples, gardens, and monuments, their systems of agriculture and religious belief, their wars and peace, their day-to-day life. Yet, amidst all this detailed information, there is not so much as one mention of the creation, purpose, or even existence of Sakwala Chakraya. Did it just appear out of nowhere, or was it created prior to the area's earliest records? And if it was, then by who? Moreover, if it was created before the Anuradhapura Empire, which began in 377 BCE, then how far back could it go? Some scientists have actually suggested that it could be 6,500 years old, or even older, which would make it among the oldest carvings in the world. But regardless of who made Sakwala Chakraya and when, there is a far more important mystery to consider: its purpose. Simply, why was Sakwala Chakraya made, and what was it used for? Over the years, numerous explanations have emerged, each more incredible than the last. Mainstream Western science first took notice of Sakwala Chakraya thanks to the British archaeologist H.C.P. Bell, who served as the head of Archaeological Survey in Ceylon, as Sri Lanka was then known, during the late 19th and early 20th centuries. In 1911, Bell provided a detailed description of Sakwala Chakraya in a report presented to the governor of Ceylon. There he expressed his belief that the carving was a map representing Buddhist notions of the universe, as he wrote, The concentric circles with their interspaces at the center can assuredly mean on the Sakwala, in the center of which rises miles in height, half below, half above the ocean surface. Sun and moon lie on either side of the Sakwala. Round about in space are scattered innumerable other worlds, represented by quadrisected circles. Below and around in the world of waters, in which swarm gigantic uncouth denizens, fish, turtle, crab, shank, and other marine fauna. Of course, what Bell didn't know at the time was that Sakwala Chakraya was totally unlike any other Buddhist carving, including those which show conceptions of the universe, anywhere in Sri Lanka or around the world. That is to say, while Buddhists certainly had detailed conceptions of the universe, they did not portray it in a way that looked anything like Sakwala Chakraya. That the carving was totally unique to other Buddhist works, and for that matter, not mentioned in detailed Buddhist records from the area, meant that it almost certainly could not be the conception Bell described, and thus researchers began hunting for a different explanation. As they did, a theory emerged that Sakwala Chakraya was not a map, but a sort of blueprint for something with a technical purpose, like a building project or an irrigation system. Note that in front of the carving are 4 seats carved into the rock, turned slightly to face each other. Some researchers believed that this showed Sakwala Chakraya was a place for discussion, like, as one archaeologist put it, an ancient architect's office. As this explanation gained popularity, an obvious question emerged. If Sakwala Chakraya was a blueprint, then a blueprint for what? According to some, the answer has shocking implications. Look more closely at the Sakwala Chakraya carving. While its various symbols may seem random and mishmashed at first, some have pointed out that they actually look incredibly similar to those used in modern electrical diagrams. Notice first the concentric circles, which appear to resemble electromagnetic waves oscillating outwards, and the strange umbrella-like symbols which look the same as parabolic satellite antennas. Look at this strange wave symbol, which is almost identical to the modern symbol for an inductor coil. And these 2 pairs of symbols which appear on either side of the carving and seem to depict the modern symbols for open and closed circuits. Look even to the numerous crossed circles and note that they resemble a top view of modern screws. With the way they are positioned inside various rectangular boxes, do they not look like the compartments held in place on the back of a modern electronic device? Taken together, some have suggested that Sakwala Chakraya is indeed a blueprint for some sort of electronic device, or even an electrical production system. Could this really be possible? Recall that Sakwala Chakraya was carved at least 1,000 years ago, and probably more like many thousands. At the very least, the idea that the ancients decided on a variety of symbols which just happen to resemble modern electrical symbols is an incredible coincidence. Of course, if you've watched our channel before, then you know that the idea of ancient electricity may not be as far-fetched as it might initially seem. If you haven't already, you're going to want to watch our video on a forbidden Egyptian discovery which changes everything. Still, that Sakwala Chakraya could be an ancient electrical diagram is a stunning conclusion. And yet, it is not the most dramatic explanation for Sakwala Chakraya out there. While scientific research may not yet provide a conclusive explanation for Sakwala Chakraya, local legends actually do. The only problem, as far as mainstream science is concerned, is that the explanation is, well, out of this world. Within the great Sri Lankan epics, Sakwala Chakraya is not just any old carving, but rather it is described as a Stargate, that is, a portal to other places in the universe. According to myth, this Stargate was used by the gods to travel to and from the Earth sometime in the distant past. To this day, many believe that Sakwala Chakraya provides a secret code for accessing the Stargate, a specific order to touch the symbols to open the portal. Others say that if you sit in the 4 seats facing the carving and meditate for long enough, you can access the Stargate. In fact, Tantric Buddhist monks still visit the site at night to meditate and try to open it. For some, the idea seemed ridiculous, even as NASA began to openly investigate the existence of Stargates in recent years. Yet, it became nearly impossible to deny that something unusual was going on with Sakwala Chakraya when, in 2019, famed researcher Praveen Mohan visited the site. He had heard from locals that the carving emitted a strange energy, and so, using an EMF detector, he proved it. Sakwala Chakraya does indeed intermittently emit an unexplainable energy. Could this be related to its function as a Stargate? And if Sakwala Chakraya really is a Stargate, then who built it and how is it used? For answers, we must look deeper into the park in which Sakwala Chakraya sits and the Anuradhapura region which surrounds it. Back in 1996, a study conducted by researcher and historian Mihindukulusurya Susantha Fernando revealed that the city of Anuradhapura's 3 main stupas were astronomically aligned with astonishing precision to 3 stars in the Orion constellation, so that if a line was drawn between each stupa, the resulting triangle would perfectly align with the triangle of 3 stars on the right-hand wing of Orion. On its own, this was an incredible find, one which revealed an amazing astronomical knowledge possessed by Anuradhapura's ancient builders. Yet, following this finding, researchers took the idea further, and when they did, they discovered that the astronomical knowledge of the ancient Sri Lankans went far beyond 3 stupas. Looking specifically at the Ranmasu Uyana Park, which contains the Sakwala Chakraya carving, a team of archaeologists and astronomers mapped the orientation and measurement of the park's various stone structures. When they used astronomical software to input and examine what they'd found, they stunningly discovered that the entire 40-acre park was a comprehensive astronomical calendar. Its stone structures were constructed to measure the position of the sun and stars, count the length of the solar year, and observe the heliacal rising of the Sirius star, and even predict the dates of important astronomical events. The level of detail was shocking. How, researchers wondered, were Ranmasu Uyana's ancient builders able to acquire and replicate such advanced knowledge with such precision? While the question remains unanswered, it can be noted that this is not the only place in which Anuradhapura's ancient builders displayed unfathomably advanced knowledge. Zoom out from the park to the area which surrounds it more broadly, and note that the Anuradhapura region is home to one of the most astonishing engineering marvels of the ancient world. Across the northern dry zones of the country, the ancient Sri Lankans constructed a massive network of reservoirs, interconnected canals, and complex irrigation arrangements with modern-style valve pits regulating the flow of water. This advanced hydraulic system allowed the ancients to store and utilize water for agriculture, drinking, transportation, and even their lush royal gardens. Indeed, Ranmasu Uyana itself is home to one of the oldest reservoirs in the world and a sophisticated hydraulic mechanism which pumped water from a nearby river to fill the garden's bathing ponds and swimming pools. In fact, the hydraulic system constructed by the ancients was so advanced that it is being looked to in modern times to save the country. Sri Lanka is currently being ravaged by climate change, so much so that it has become one of the first 15 countries on Earth to receive funding from the United Nations Green Climate Fund. With this funding, scientists are looking at Anuradhapura's ancient hydraulic system for advice on how to secure agriculture in the face of more extreme weather conditions. Simply, the hydraulic system of the Anuradhapura ancients is still relevant thousands of years after it was built. Of course, whether hydraulic, astronomical, or otherwise, this is exactly what the Anuradhapura Empire was known for: advanced knowledge. During their period of prominence from 377 BCE to 1017 CE, the empire became a center of world knowledge and learning, a place where people from all over the world, from Kashmir to China, would come to read texts and receive advice from great sages on matters of science, engineering, agriculture, religion, and philosophy. The question is, how did the Anuradhapura Empire develop this knowledge, which so far outstripped its neighbors for so many centuries? Interestingly, while the Anuradhapura Empire officially started in 377 BCE, archaeological evidence shows that a thriving settlement existed in the Anuradhapura region centuries before this at least. A populous civilization familiar with farming, animal husbandry, pottery, writing, and metallurgy. Was it this civilization which laid the groundwork for, perhaps even founded, the Anuradhapura Empire? And if so, who were they? And where did they go? While official archaeological record is lacking, the great epics of the region provide an answer. The Ramayana is one of the two most important epics, along with the Mahabharata in all of Hinduism, and a critical piece of Indian and South Asian culture. Composed over the course of nearly a millennium, from the 8th century BCE to the 3rd century CE, it tells a foundational story of the region set some 7,000 years in the past. Within the Ramayana, the city of Anuradhapura appears as the capital of the evil king Ravana, the antagonist to the story's hero, the Indian prince Rama. According to the story, Ravana kidnaps Rama's wife using a mysterious flying machine known as the Pushpaka Vimana and holds her hostage in Sri Lanka. That is, until Rama is able to build a bridge from the Indian subcontinent to the island of Sri Lanka, which allows his mighty army to cross, whereupon he defeats Ravana in battle, killing the evil king and rescuing his wife. The thing is, while in the Ramayana, Ravana is the villain, an evil king, according to Sri Lankan sources, he is something completely different, the extraordinary leader of an advanced and prosperous civilization. Born the son of a great sage and the grandson of a child of the god Brahma as king, Ravana would become a legendary scientist, inventor, and scholar. Indeed, the greatest Sri Lanka has ever known. He wrote many books on medicine and astrology, revealing cures for numerous diseases and providing detailed knowledge of the celestial sphere. He is said to have been an unparalleled fighter, wise in the ways of the ancient martial arts, and an acclaimed artist who narrated the first ragas, a unique type of Indian classical music. He is even said to have introduced the fabled Pushpaka Vimana flying machine, described in the Ramayana as a chariot resembling a bright cloud in the sky, which had the ability to rise into the higher atmosphere. With his astonishing knowledge, Ravana oversaw a period of unprecedented prosperity in Sri Lankan history, where it is said that even the poorest households ate from golden pots. Note that for Sri Lankans, Ravana is not merely a mythical figure, but a real king who lived thousands of years of the distant past, upwards of 7,000, according to the Ramayana. If this is true, then how could it be possible that Ravana had this advanced knowledge of flying machines, medical cures, and astronomical concepts, which didn't emerge officially until thousands of years later? It is at the incredible sites around the Anuradhapura region where an explanation begins to take shape. About 45 miles outside the city of Anuradhapura is an outstanding architectural marvel known as Sigiriya. Built atop a 600-foot column of rock, Sigiriya was an ancient fortress, complete with a palace, living quarters, landscaped gardens, even a massive pool. While archaeologists are not completely sure when humans first started to inhabit the site, there is a consensus that the fortress was in use at least 1,500 years in the past, and perhaps much longer than that. But even at 1,500 years, the construction of Sigiriya is baffling to say the least. Consider, for one, that its builders moved more than 3 million bricks from the ground to the top during its construction. How is this possible when stairs reaching the top of the sheer rock cliff were not constructed until the 1800s? Moreover, Sigiriya's huge water tank, which is 90 feet long, 68 feet wide, and 7 feet deep, was constructed by digging more than 3,500 tons of granite directly out of the surface of the column. Again, how could this be possible using primitive tools? Even more bizarre is that this water tank has strange and inexplicable properties. No matter how hot it gets or how long a drought continues, the tank never dries up. And no matter how hard it rains, it never overflows. It seems that somehow the tank was constructed to automatically collect and drain water in perfect proportions, a feature which continues to baffle archaeologists. Yet, while mainstream science is perplexed, ancient epics like the Ramayana and the Sri Lankan Mahavamsa once again provide an answer. There it is said that Sigiriya was in fact the location of King Ravana's palace, an impregnable fortress lined with gold, built for Ravana by the gods. Could Sigiriya really stretch back all the way to the time of Ravana? And if so, could it really have been built by the gods? In 1907, archaeologists working in the caves around the base of Sigiriya came across an extraordinary find, a gigantic picture gallery, as one scientist called it, of ancient paintings stretching 460 feet long and 130 feet high. Curiously, these paintings were done in a style which was totally unique to anything else found in the area, raising questions about where they had come from and who had painted them. Even more interesting was that the paintings appeared to show a series of figures appearing out of the clouds in the sky, carrying with them a variety of items. Is it possible that these depictions represent the gods who helped Ravana build Sigiriya? Moreover, could the items they carry with them represent various fields of knowledge they brought to Ravana at the same time? Could this explain Ravana's advanced abilities? Gifts, perhaps, from the gods? Most importantly, is it possible that these gods who the ancients portrayed as emerging from the sky were not gods at all, but extraterrestrial visitors? With these paradigm-shifting questions in mind, some have started to put the pieces together and construct an incredible explanation. Return to Sakwala Chakraya and recall those who assert that the ancient carving is a Stargate portal. Some say that the carving itself is not a Stargate, but rather that it is the floor plan for a Stargate, one which was in fact built at Sigiriya within Ravana's palace. Thus, the gods, or extraterrestrial visitors, which helped Ravana build his palace, also helped construct the Stargate, from which they could travel to and from the Earth and far-off places in the universe. Perhaps this is beginning to sound outlandish, but in fact, look closer into the story of Ravana and the area around Anuradhapura, and things only get more amazing. 90 miles from the city of Anuradhapura and 60 miles from Sigiriya stands Danigala Circular Rock, a unique flat-topped rock which rises 919 feet above the ground below. According to legend, Danigala, which from above looks not unlike a modern landing pad, was the home of Ravana's aviation headquarters and the place where he landed and launched his Pushpaka Vimana flying machine. There are some who suggest that the Pushpaka Vimana was not the only flying machine to utilize Danigala. According to this thinking, the visitors from the sky pictured at Sigiriya were the ones who brought Ravana the knowledge of flight, and indeed these same visitors utilized Danigala as a port for their own flying machines. Interestingly, in modern times, Danigala's circular rock is known among locals as a UFO hotspot. Over the years, many hundreds of sightings have been reported. In fact, the sightings are so numerous that the rock has been nicknamed Alien Mountain. Could it be possible that the visitors from the sky who brought Ravana advanced knowledge are still visiting to this day? Legend has long held that the secrets to Alien Mountain and Ravana's visitors from the sky lay hidden beneath the rock at Danigala. But it was not until 2020 that researchers ventured deep into the caves carved there for a closer look. When they did, they made a stunning discovery. An incredible cache of ancient petroglyphs stretching up to 25 feet long and 16 feet high. While many depicted human or animal figures, plans, tools, weapons, and so on, the ones which immediately caught the eye of researchers were the strange geometric symbols which connected together. The first time these type of bind runes were ever found in Sri Lanka. What could these strange symbols represent? Researchers wondered, and why had they never before appeared at other sites in Sri Lanka? Some believed that they represented some sort of ancient bind code, a lost astronomical system expressed through geometric patterns. Yet, how to decipher this code and what it might mean, researchers had no idea. Some of the more pessimistic even went so far as to assert that its true meaning will never be totally understood other than the interpretations we make. But what if this isn't true? What if the bind runes could be understood? What if the code could be broken? Could their true meaning reveal all the secrets which have long been hidden of Ravana's visitors from the sky, of the Sakwala Chakraya Stargate, of an ancient civilization founded by knowledge from somewhere in the deepest recesses of the universe? Only time will tell. For now, if you want to know more about Sri Lanka's mysterious history and its unfathomable impact on the modern world as we know it, a great place to start is with our video on Ranmasu Uyana, the Bridge of the Gods.